Okay, great. So, of course, I'm just taking you all through something which is very close to our hearts. And just a quick disclaimer that no trees were harmed in the making of this home. Usually, construction is all related to, ye tree cut do, that tree is, out of the way and all of that. That is exactly what this project is all about. So, of course, this is not day one of the site that we got. On day one, it was completely a jungle. It was a complete mess with all sorts of wild plants and everything. What we did was we identified in the plot of 50 feet by 80 feet of approximately 4,000 square feet, we identified these 6 trees, which we felt that should ideally become a part of the design rather than cutting them, because or cutting or replanting them, because there were some thoughts on replanting them as well. But as much as we researched, replanting a tree, a full living tree, the chances of fruit bearing capacity is reduced to literally 30%, and we didn't want to have that at all. So this was going to be a weekend home for the client, and we thought that might as well we should enjoy nature and enjoy the trees, because frankly it's luxury, something which is not found in Mumbai homes, if they are not Gaurav's buildings for sure. So if we identify all of these trees, we kind of had a tough task now, because now we had to plan not only as per the requirement of the client, which was very much in place, because they wanted to have a party space, a weekend space where if they would come, they would literally come with a gang of 20 people and they would want to just hang out and all of that. So we had to literally design for 0 people to 20 people at the same time. And I know it was quite complicated, because a maintenance of a particular weekend home gets really challenging. So now the tough task was to simply identify these trees, and which were this being the palm tree, another being second palm tree. So we very smartly just kind of started our building line right from a little behind of that space, and we had to literally tie these 2 palm trees in such a way that they would not come in the way of shuttering while the construction was happening, because they could literally sway a lot, because the palm trees really can sway almost up to a meter 2 meters almost when they are exposed to wind, so we wanted to ensure that they don't come in the way of the construction at all. And that's why we had to literally tie them up and ensure that they are not coming in the way of construction. This was pretty much well planned, because this was almost in the open to sky space, which was also a part of the jacuzzi. So now let me take you through the entire orientation of this space. So this is where the north is, and we simply had a very basic luxury of having north oriented veranda. So we just took that. I mean, we just could not leave that. And trust me, I mean, till date, this is the most used space in the entire weekend home. This is another hangout spot, which frankly becomes like a part of the coming in or going out kind of a space, because say whenever you come in and you kind of take a pause at this space, you sit under the mango tree, you kind of enjoy the entire luxury of this beautiful sitting under the tree concept and all of that. So, and also while going back, you kind of start creating memories out here, you kind of start clicking pictures of the entire group and everything. So that's kind of the entry and exit hotspot out here. Then you kind of take a direct entry from here, which is almost through a tunnel, and you kind of are diverted into this passage, which very interestingly looks into the open to sky jacuzzi space, and then you enter into the living space. Now the beauty of the living space is that when there would be more people, you can literally open up this and this window on both these sides, and you almost expand your living room into these spaces. And that is what the magic of simple planning is, that on the north and east side you completely open up to live the entire celebrating light kind of an experience, where you you're kind of almost exposed to beautiful light in the mornings, in the afternoons, even in the evenings. I mean, when the sun is almost here, it kind of is very shaded and very pleasant out here. And that's why these two areas are literally the hangout spaces. Of course, it has an 8-seater jacuzzi, which is another added splash to the entire space, because people literally hang out here. uh, Frankly, the television and the seating area was not too much of a focus, because uh, even till date, everybody literally chills and hangs out in this space. But of course, there's a requirement for always a formal seating area, and there is definitely an open bar, and which takes care of the storage as well for the extra gaddas and extra mattresses and everything. A small guest bedroom with an attached toilet, a small kitchenette where usually the food is warmed, or something. I mean, hardly much of cooking is happening. And then of course there is an external service area and the staff area kind of a thing. Uh, Out here we've kind of created a barbecue spot, so that in the evenings you can actually chill with the entire group and enjoy the barbecue session. The beauty of this particular tree is that it runs through the bar, it goes into the master bedroom on the first floor, and then out of the house. And you can actually see it from the master bathroom, which is just exactly above this. And you can see the tree from the skylight. So that's the beauty of this particular tree. This one is very beautifully engulfed in the pergola, so it has a story of its own. So I think all of the trees are now kind of taken care of during the planning stage, and this was pretty easy, I would say, because I think ideas are pretty cheap. Doing them, or shaping them, is the difficult task. So of course then we made all the technical drawings and making of the elevation and all of that. We definitely wanted the place to look nice and beautiful and minimal and contemporary and modern and all of that. So this was the kind of exploration that we had, and we were pretty proud of the kind of design that we did. But the challenge really came up when we started the execution phase. And I think that's the reason I'm focusing my presentation majorly on the execution part of it, so that we can all explore that why certain things need to be done in the way they are to be done. So these were all the beautiful renders. I mean, don't go by them. Okay. So once we started with the line out, we obviously had to ensure that none of our plinth beams or our footing rests or overlaps the roof. All the carefully even the mango tree was kind of carefully taken care of, even these palms and everything. So everything was kind of laid out in such a way that it does not harm the fruit bearing capacity or the life of the particular plant. Even the water kind of trickles down beautifully on these barks, and they kind of create a very interesting visual for itself. It gets a little shiny and all of that, and it kind of gathers a lot of water out here. So that's why leaving this extra saturated water, saturated soil, to drain off easily, the extra excess water was really important, because otherwise that would have created another ruckus. And that was how we kind of ensured that all the when we create the plinth beams, there was soil filling done, so that the plants are still intact in their own habitat. So every time we had to take care that this particular junction was not hit by this particular tree's sway. Similarly, the other one on the left side was taken care like that. So that was the lift, the pit for jacuzzi, which hosted a 8-seater jacuzzi out there. We of course minimized the beams by taking steel beams, so that we could maximize our heights and not have deeper beams, which would be almost 2.5 feet. So we made them slimmer. So that's the staircase area, which where the mid landing is now played a very important role, because we are taking a lot of light through the mid landing here, and also creating the mid landing as a pause point for chess or some internal, board games basically. And that's the barbecue area, which is going to shape up eventually. So this was another tricky point where we had to take care of the tree not hitting the slab. and that's how the mango tree was kind of even trimmed and shaped up even during the construction. So it was kind of still fruit bearing. So you could actually see a couple of mangoes. Actually, every season we go and we kind of pluck mangoes ourselves, literally. So that's the fun and joy of having a nature home. And this is the contractor who's kind of very proud of his plastering work, and the shadows that are casted with these beautiful palms is just fantastic. I mean, you can just literally watch it like a painting for hours. So that's another tricky point. This was near to the pergola area, and that's next to the open jacuzzi. So that's another touch point, and which was again secured very well with a lot of foam and tying the tree on the top level so that it doesn't sway much. So that was the palm which kind of goes right through the bar area into the master bedroom and of course out of the house. And that's the skylight which completely opens up and brings a lot of central light into the living area, which is again about 26 feet height. That's the jacuzzi area, and of course there would be panels which would come up and create a lot of privacy for the jacuzzi, so that's not directly visible. So that's the tree which is engulfed in the pergola zone, and that's like literally the entry and exit point, and literally a meeting point kind of a thing, where a lot of group pictures are clicked and a lot of memories are created out here. So on day one, when we visited the site for photo shoot, the photographer literally asked me that, "Where's your building?" So that's exactly what the beauty of this place is. I mean, you just can't make out where the building is because you literally can't see the building. You just see nature taking over it. You still can. I mean, the project was on day one a green, lush land, and I think in this particular project, the building has just kind of tried to manage to crawl within those green pockets and still manage to survive within them. So it's the other way around on a normal project, and creating beautiful frames with just the trees. So that's the entrance porch. The mango tree is treated with retrofitted outdoor seating beneath the tree, and is just a beautiful spot, daytime or nighttime. I mean, it's just beautiful to be there. That's the most used space, I would say, the 12 feet wide veranda, which is the place where everybody just chills and lies down and just enjoys the whole day, because specifically because of the north light, and of course because of the beautiful view of the palms on the next door plot. And we are hoping that the neighboring plot does not build quite soon, and if they build, they definitely do respect the trees out there as well. And that's the beautiful open to sky jacuzzi, which kind of just is another expression to kind of just lying down in the jacuzzi with the sky on top of you. It's another way of connecting with nature. And that's, I think, the highlight of the project was this, where you kind of have the palm just literally shooting up all the way out in the sun, passing through the bar and the master bedroom, and just creates a very beautiful thing. And the technicality handled is very interestingly done. So we've kind of created almost like a shower cubicle out here in this particular space. So the water just simply trickles down the palm, and beautifully it just kind of gathers out here. And since there are already surface drains out there, so excess water is all drained out